Hey everyone, I'm Scott Stokely, and if you just saw the big press release, you heard the news. I have my very first sponsored player from Stokely Discs, and I could not be any more excited about this person being the first person who will ever be sponsored by my company. Dallas Garber from Portland, Oregon. What's up, Dallas?
Hey Scott.
Oh man, this is so neat. Hey, let's right off the bat, let's get something right out of the way. You seem to be wearing a Castoplast hat. What does that mean? What is that all about?
Yeah, I am sponsored by Castoplast as of this year.
Yeah. So Castoplast is one of my favorite companies in the world. And I approached them when Dallas was looking for sponsorship. And I asked them if there was any way that they would be interested in doing a co sponsorship experiment, because none of the manufacturers do this outside of trilogy players working together. And I said, I really want them to be able to throw Stokely discs, but I don't have a full lineup. And Castoplast was on board, which is great for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So before we talk about Stokely discs or you, give me a pitch. Why do you like Castoplast?
Well, I've always liked Castoplast. I think I've thrown at least one of their molds for about 4.5 years, and I've been playing for 5. So it's always been like a staple of my bag. Uh, having something like unique has always been part of my personality. So like in tournaments, I'll dress brightly or like different style of throw, and then like plastic from Sweden. I just think it's really really neat to have this sponsorship.
Right on. I mean, no one like Castoplast is almost universally liked. Everyone likes Castoplast. So let's now talk about you. I'm going to do this every single time I have a new sponsorship announcement where I want people to know who's throwing my disc. So when did we first have any connection in disc golf? It's a great story.
The very first time, would that have been in Seattle?
Well, no, before we met in
Oh
person.
yeah. Okay, so before we met, there was this like doubles league that had started to end, and there's a Halloween party at this course called Shampooey, and you had to dress up as someone to be able to enter. Anything could have been like a ghoul, a vampire, whatever. And little like 5'2", 82-pound me, like, oh, I'm gonna dress up as this giant Scott Stokely. I got the like blue hair from back in your day. I tattooed my knuckles, or well, I didn't tattoo them, but put some Sharpie on them. And I think it was the most liked. I think I got second in the costume contest.
I love that. I
Yeah.
mean, for me personally, people have different ways of measuring whether or not they've made it. You know, for some people it's the mansion, some people it's the yachts. You know, to me is as soon as like some kid I've never met before dresses as me for Halloween, like that's a whole new disc golfer status. So you started playing 5 years ago, so that you would have been what, six then?
Roughly, yeah,
No,
yeah.
how old are you now?
I'm 16,
And what is your current rating?
1005 right now.
And it's going. You almost. You said you wanted to delay this interview because it's going to go up next month, right?
I do believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to go up next month, every month for a while. So like you got to pull the trigger. You've been playing for 5 years. What got you into it?
This is actually one of my favorite stories. So my dad had a heart surgery. He had like an open valve heart surgery in 2019, I believe, 2018. And he, after some recovery, he had to do cardio to keep up his heart strength, stamina. So walking a few miles every day. And me and him are the most competitive people you'll find in like a father son dynamic. So at first it was I think Pokemon Go that we did for a little bit to walk and try to be competitive that way. But my uncle gave us like 5 discs, I think a gazelle and like a rhino and some other stuff. And we went to our local park and started playing. Our first course we ever played was Blue Lake. That was the very first course.
And who won?
Oh, it was probably him because back then it was just all power. No one had form at all.
When is the last time he beat you?
Straight up or with strokes given?
Yeah, straight up.
Straight up. Ooh. Uh, 3 years. Yeah, on
Okay.
an 18-hole course, probably 3 years. So
When did you start getting into tournaments? I mean, did you immediately think this is something you were going to take serious, or did you just kind of fall into it accidentally once you started playing?
I take everything serious. Doesn't matter if it's something that's fun or whatever. If I like it, I'm probably gonna take it extremely serious for a while. So initially, I never thought it was gonna be like this big, obviously. But as soon as I enjoyed it, I was there every single day playing. I played 273 days in a row when I first started, without a single break. Our rule was we had to play 9 holes for it to count as a day to the streak. So I got into it immediately, and then tournaments came pretty soon. I think within the first 3 months, I did a kid flick ran by Zoe and Egg and them, and then within the first year, I played my first tournament.
When did you play your first tournament?
June of 2020, according to the little birdie.
Okay. And how did that go?
Uh, ooh, I think I shot roughly 29 over for one round, and then like 32 over on the other round, and I don't remember being that mad about it. So
Right. Well, I mean, you were actually like 12 then, right? Like that's
I don't know if I was 12. I think I was. I think I would have been 12. Yeah, pretty young 12-year-old.
Do you remember your first tournament win?
Ooh. I do not know my first tournament win. I've never thought of that actually. Um some random person's pulling it up probably. Got the phone
You're not
here.
supposed to forget your first, dude. You're gonna hurt the TD's feelings if they find out that they were your first and you forgot about them.
So my first ever win was a C tier called the Wortman Warm Up, and I was the only person in the division in recreational.
My
So
first tournament win was in 1982 Beach Bowl, and I was the only person in my division.
back in my
So
day,
yeah,
this
so my first tournament, I was the only junior there. So
that's funny. You want to know what my rated round was? It was one round. I shot 11 over.
what was it?
837.
So your
Right.
first rated round is 837. That's actually really good.
Not my first rated round because that wasn't my first tournament. That was my first win. I don't know what my first rated round was. We're checking. This is fun. I've actually never looked at this. I think my guess is going to be roughly 770. That's my
Okay.
guess.
When did you like tell me about the progression? I mean, you started off in rec. I mean, did you play, win the tournament in your division, move up to the next division, win again? Like you're in a hurry to become pro, or did you kind of hang out and sandbag for a while, or like what was your process?
Definitely sandbag for a little bit, but I was also a junior, still am a junior, so I don't know if it classifies as sandbagging at all. Um, I stayed in each division for a very long time. That was kind of our plan. Stayed in recreational until I was dominating it, stayed in intermediate until I was dominating it, and then stayed in advanced until I was like top 3 every single tournament. So it took a while for me to move up the ranks because I just stayed back for so long.
When did you move up to pro? I mean, I'm asking this. I mean, I follow you, so I already know, but
So actually someone just asked me this. It was 2022 was my first ever pro tournament, January 22nd at
and did what?
January 22nd, 2022 was my first ever pro tournament that I played.
And you did okay, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I got 33rd. It was my first ever 1,000 rated round. That was when it was like in between BSF and Portland Open, so a bunch of the touring pros came out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since then, I mean, I know you're in high school. I know I've tried to talk you out of finishing high school. Whenever your mom's not around, I try to convince you that you should drop out. I mean, wait, is she
A few
listening?
times, yeah.
Is she there?
Oh no, no, you're
Okay,
fine.
good. If she is, just tell her I told you to stay in school. Have a
Yeah.
backup plan. But you're playing pro, but now you are limiting how many tournaments you're playing on the pro tour. Like, what is that strategy about?
So there's a rookie of the year thing, which we don't want to get into yet necessarily. Also, like being in school, it's not like I can go over to the East Coast during the middle of like finals or whatever.
Mhm.
So right now we're pretty much just only doing West Coast swing, uh, except for one tournament. What's the one in California? It's on that golf course, OTB. We're not doing that one, but doing Portland Open, BSF, and then Worlds in August, I think. Yeah.
All right, now let's get to the good stuff. I worked through the guys and I helped out a little bit, but you went to Cast to Blast, started throwing their discs. Tell me about the first tournament that you threw Cast to Blast discs. Isn't that the one where you went to sudden death against somebody who's pretty good?
I can't. I don't know what you're referring to, if I'm being honest.
You went to sudden death against somebody from your area who's really good, and you beat him in sudden death.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That was your
So,
first tournament throwing Castoplast, right?
yeah, my first tournament sponsored by Cast Plus. Yes.
And what happened at that tournament?
So it was a C tier at McCormick Park, and some random touring professional showed up named Cole Dolan, and I ended up beating him.
Leadstone, wait. Reigning Leadstone Open champion, Cole Redolin.
Yes. Um, yeah, middle of the off season. This would have been December. Yeah, I think I averaged 10.33 through 2 rounds and beat him in a playoff.
And you were still 15 then, huh?
No, I was 16.
Oh, you were 16. Oh, that's way less impressive. I thought you did it when you were 15, which would have been amazing, but
It was like
10:33 at
20 days
16.
after.
I'm not. Look, I don't want to kick you when you're down, but I'm less impressed than had it been when you were 15. Just saying. Now, we had talked all along because you started throwing Castoplast before I ever made any discs. And I told you I was starting a company, and the general conversation was you would love to, throw discs I make, but they have to be good and you have to like them. Obviously, you're not going to throw my discs and sacrifice your game just because, I've gotten to know you over the years.
Yeah.
You threw 6 models at Lake Havasu earlier this year. And what did you think?
So going into it, I was obviously like, okay, I'm gonna support them no matter what. I, being brutally honest, I did not think they were gonna be that good. Like I didn't know if I was gonna be sponsored or not, because obviously, like you said, I wanted them to be good, and so I'd actually throw. So going into it, not extremely high expectations, but when I first felt it, they're very good. The plastic felt amazing. Everything was like pristine. The stamp of it was super cool. Here's mine that I throw.
Oh, great. Neat.
I really like the stamp, the coloring. Oh, there is no coloring, but I think my favorite part about it was you talked about how there was no flight numbers until it got released, and I don't know if there is yet.
There are.
There are.
We're about
Okay.
to announce it.
All right. So, but it was all super cool. I mean, every single mold I threw was amazing. I think there was one that I didn't love, but
Right.
even that was like still would have probably been fine.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you right now that you're with me and Stokely Discs. You get to be honest. Like, I am never going to be upset over you making a video that says, "Hey, I tested out the new mold, and I don't care for it." Like that is not a blemish on this relationship. I tell people what my discs aren't good at, and that disc that you threw, I'm probably not going to release.
Yeah.
So
We
I'm
definitely
taking a
had,
different approach. I'm taking an honest approach, but you get to be honest too, because the thing is, for me, is that if you tell people, "Hey, I didn't like this disc," well, then when the next one comes out and you do like, people will listen to you because they know you're not just getting paid to like be a yes man. So I think your exact words were, "I don't like that disc at all."
yeah, those
I
were,
know
I
you're trying
think,
to be nice. I appreciate
yeah,
that, but I'm telling you, you have complete. You got my support in being honest about the discs.
yeah,
That's important to me. But you liked 5 of them.
yeah, I really liked 5 of them. Even one of them, I threw it and you're like, oh, that's not a disc that we made meant for you. And I still loved it. That,
Oh
Chanel.
yeah, that one. We won't use the name, but yeah, no, I can't wait to put that disc out. It's going to be popular.
I think so. Yeah. I think
But
everyone's going to be.
we went with the Cardinal and the Wren. The Cardinal's the overstable mid, and the Wren is the putter. And what do you think of them?
Well, these are my putting putters, and this is my favorite mid range in my bag. So,
Perfect.
and I'm playing pretty well with them right now. This has been like the best circle two putting I've had in a long time. Um, Actually, I remember in Lake Havasu, like my first time putting with it, I made like 3 50-foot putts in a row with the Ren. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that's going in the bag. I
I
should have
love
swapped out.
that. We just so you know, we have 4 other. I'm doing on the screen. We have 4 other sponsored player announcements coming up. There are 4 other players that are bagging Stokely discs as well, like tour players, players out there on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Like it's almost like every single person that isn't required to throw their sponsor players discs, they've thrown Stokely discs and were like, "I want to throw this disc." So everyone who's allowed to throw it has pretty much been like, "Yeah, I'm on board." But I'll tell you what off camera who they are. They're all top secret until we announce it. But so you like the Ren putter. What about the plastic? Because that's something we put a lot of effort into.
I gotta feel them again. So the mid range in the putter plastic is different.
Yeah.
I don't. It was a thermo and strato.
Yes.
I'm not gonna remember that, but that's what it is. um, so the mid range plastic is a little bit more gummy, and feels a lot more durable, which is
Yeah.
what you want for a mid range for sure. And it's kind of bouncy a little bit, some dome to it. It's great. I think it's. I have nothing to compare it to because I don't think much else is on par with it plastic wise. But I enjoy the mid range a lot. I think this is the best plastic out of the two. And then this is like, I mean, this is the exact plastic I'd want for a putting putter. Kind of like base, medium to hard, flat top. I mean, I don't know. I'm not good at explaining it, but it feels amazing in my hand. I putt well with it. I like the color of the first runs too.
Good.
Everything's great about it.
What are your plans? I mean, not with we'll jump off to Stokely disc talk for now. But let's go back to just Dallas' career. You're going to finish high school, obviously, because I'm encouraging you to stay in school. And if she's listening and can't see me, that's
Yeah.
perfect. But after school, like, what are your plans? I mean, are you looking at a pro disc golf career? I mean, are you looking at not that you have to decide anything at 16, contrary to what your teachers are probably making you think, but like, do you have ideas of where your future lies? Is it disc golf if you can disc golf?
If I'm able to, sure. But I'm also a sophomore, and professional sports, is never one that you want to fully go 100% in, unless you know for sure. I'm pretty confident I can, but I'm gonna try to stick with school as long as possible until I'm for sure.
I love it. Well, whatever you decide to do, I'll support you. just so long as it involves not going to school and playing disc golf with my
Yeah.
discs. But as long as you do that, I'll support you in whatever you do. All right. Anything else you wanted to add? This is perfect. People get a chance to get to know you. Anything else they need to know about you?
Anything else? I don't believe so. I have a cat. She's pretty cool. Did you know that?
Yeah, we're actually talking about maybe using the cat in your tour disc because we will have a Dallas Garber tour disc coming out, of course, and we may incorporate your cat into the tour stamp.
Yeah, we talked about it. There's some fun ideas floating around.
It's look, it's we're throwing frisbees in parks. I mean, like if there's one thing my company is going to be about, it's going to be like not forgetting that it's fun. It's still a game. I mean, I'm trying to make the best discs in the world, but at the same time, we're still throwing frisbees in a park. And so I know that's your spirit. I mean, you take the game very serious, but you're also silly and have fun. You're self-deprecating. You take the game seriously, but you don't take yourself overly seriously, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is right. That's what it should be. Dallas, thank you so much. Thank you, Mom, Dad, everyone else off camera watching. Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to seeing you. You're going to be in Vegas next week.
Yeah, I will.
I'll be in Vegas next week. I'm not playing. I'm out for a few more weeks, but I'll definitely see you there. And I look forward to hanging out with you. And let's get that Tour Series disc going.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. If you want to follow Dallas, go to Dallas Garber's Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube also, right?
Don't go to the YouTube, please.
Okay, don't go to YouTube, whatever. Stay away. Avoid the YouTube channel at all costs.
As of right now, yes.
As of right now, avoid. By the way, you want to get people to your YouTube channel? The best way to do it. Don't anybody check out Dallas Garber YouTube. Whatever you do, don't go to YouTube right after this interview and then click Dallas Garber YouTube disc golf, search, enter, watch videos. Don't do that no matter what.
If you want to see me as like a 12, 13-year-old, my squeaky voice and braces.
No, I love it. Hey, I think the world of you and your entire family, even your extended family that I've met, and I'm looking forward to doing great things with you and watching you do great things. So thank you, Dallas, for being my first ever sponsor player. That will be forever that you're my first sponsor player, and it's an honor. It was an easy decision for me. So thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.